In this lesson of the Nile Rodgers series, we're taking a look at the song I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross. We've got another really cool progression in this one which pretty much drives the whole song, and other than that there's just a sneaky little pre-chorus which you've got to keep your eye out for. So let's dive in and take a look. So if we begin with that main progression, as usual, I'll take you through the chords first and then we'll have a chat about the rhythm afterwards. So we're going to start with a D minor 7 rooted on the A string, with the little finger double in the 7th by playing the 8th fret on the top string. That should sound like this. So you get that nice bright note on top. The tip of the first finger is muting the bottom string so that it doesn't ring out when I'm strumming. From there we're going to move to an A minor 7, but we're going to keep the note that the little finger is playing on the top string. So first finger is going to bar all 6 strings this time, and third finger is going to pop onto the 7th fret of the A string, with the little finger still pressing down the 8th fret of the high E string. That sounds like this. So we've got D minor 7 with the little finger, to A minor 7, still with the little finger. Next is a G minor 7, so what we're going to do here is take the little finger off and slide down so that the first finger is on the 3rd fret. Just barring all 6 strings, so your kind of standard version of a minor 7 voicing on that one. So we've got D minor 7, A minor 7, slide down G minor 7, take the little finger off. From there we're going to move to an F chord but using a C shape. So we have to pop the little finger onto the root note, which is going to be the 8th fret of the A string, and then the rest of the hand makes that C cage shape. If you're unsure about any of these shapes, because the C shape is a little bit less common than the other shapes, do check out the first video in the series where I go through all the chord voicings, and remember you can download all the chord diagrams from our Patreon page in the description as well. So if we stick with that F chord using a C shape, that would sound like this. And again, I'm using the tip of the first finger to mute the bottom string. The next chord we're going to play is just a normal B flat major chord using an E shape rooted on the 6th fret of the bottom string. The reason we're using these chord voicings is that they're just a little bit more efficient. We're not jumping around all over the neck, and they tend to sound a little bit better. The notes just sound a little bit more connected because they're in close proximity to one another. So we have F to B flat, and that happens twice. So there's the C shape F to the B flat, back to that F, and then the B flat again. And then finally we're finishing off the progression with just a normal A minor 7 chord, so like we had at the start, apart from no need for the little finger on the top string here. So if we have a run through all of that again, we've got D minor with little finger added, A minor 7 with little finger still on the top string, G minor 7 with little finger removed, F using a C shape, normal B flat chord, F again, B flat again, and then finishing with a normal A minor 7. And those are the chords for the main progression. So hopefully you can hear the harmonic structure of the song taking place there. Now before we get into the rhythm, I want to point out that the pattern changes pretty much every time he plays it in the song. So don't feel like you have to stick to a specific pattern, you want to be trying to vary it up. Now I do think it's best to try and pick up these rhythms by ear and just kind of through feel. So maybe give that a go first of all. You can try slowing the song down on YouTube so you can kind of hear it a little bit more accurately. But if you're really struggling, stick to the pattern that I'm about to give you at first, but do try and like improvise and vary it about once you're comfortable with it. That is really how you get good at this style, ultimately, to try and have a little bit of freedom with the rhythm and not feel like you have to be stuck to set patterns. You have to really try and let go of that thinking about or trying to remember the pattern process and just focus on the feel and the groove and let it happen naturally instead. I know that's a little bit philosophical, but I do think it's an important point if you're really trying to nail this style of playing. So if we take a look at a specific rhythm pattern now, obviously we're starting on the D minor 7, and that's going to sound like this. So what we're doing here is an accented down strum, a muted down up, and then 2 staccato accented strums, both downs. So we've got down, down, up, down, down. Then when we move to the A minor 7, we've got, so we're doing accented down strum, muted down, accented up, then down, up, muted. So put them together. And then straight away we're moving to a down strum on the G minor 7. So you can use the little muted down strum to slide down to the G minor 7 and get the chord in place before you have to actually play it. So G minor 7, you've done that accented down strum. You're then going to do down, up, muted, followed by the 2 staccato down strums, very similar to the D minor at the start. So the G minor is going to go, and then we've got 2 more muted strums after that down, up as well. So we've got, okay, so down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. That's really hard to think about and say and do at the same time. And with a musical count, that would sound like this. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 E and 1 E and 2 and a. Next, we're moving to the F chord, and we've got just a repeating pattern over the F and the B flat there. So what we're doing is a down strum on the F, down strum staccato accented, then muted down accented up, so then down up muted, put that all together, so down, down, up, then to the B flat we're going accented down, down up muted, 2 staccato down strums, 2 muted strums. Again, that's the same rhythm that we had on the D minor 7. And if we put those together, we'll have, and repeat them. And then to finish off on the A minor 7, we're going to have the 2 staccato down strums again. And then we're going to strum down, up, accented, and then down, up, muted. So down, 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 up, down, up. Okay, so the whole thing from the D minor 7. Hopefully that helps you get started with the rhythm, kind of gives you a baseline to build on. Remember, it doesn't have to be exactly the same as that. Do try and get like the chord changes and the main accents in the same place, but definitely feel free to improvise around that and just follow the groove of the tune. Next, we're going to take a look at that pre-chorus. This is the only point really where the song changes. There are some times in the main progression where you'd class it more as a verse and a chorus, and you'd probably try and strum a little bit less, but just try and listen to the track and match what you hear and play something that feels appropriate. So this pre-chorus, the first occurrence of it happens at 1 minute 27, so maybe go and have a listen to that part of the track just so you can get the sound of what you're about to play in your head. We're sticking mainly on a D minor 7 chord, and it's the same one as the main progression with the little finger on the top string. Then we're going to be moving to a D7 sus4. All we do there is move the little finger down to the B string, same fret, that'll sound like this. Then to a normal D minor 7, so little finger just comes off. And then finally, to end, we're going to have the same B flat and A minor 7 that we had at the end of the verse. So B flat rooted on the 6th fret of the low E string, and A minor 7 without the little finger rooted on the 5th fret. So once again, those chords were D minor 7 with the little finger on the top string, move the little finger down a string for the sus4, take it off for just the normal D minor 7. It then plays that D minor 7 for a little bit longer, which we'll talk about in a sec, and then end with the B flat and the A minor 7. So in terms of the rhythm, we've got so quite an interesting one, and probably when I explain it, it's going to seem really complicated, but actually when you're in the groove of it, it seems a lot more simple and it's kind of easy to follow along with. So if we start with that D minor 7, we're going to have down, up, accented. And following that, we're going to have this 4-note progression where we go down, muted, and then up, accented. So down, up, and that then repeats. So we've got down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If we add that to the 2 accented strums at the start, we'd have after we do a few times through that, we move to the sus4, and it's the same rhythm. So still got that down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just twice on the sus4 and then twice on the normal D minor 7 again. So if we put those together, hopefully you can just hear where the little finger's moving there and giving you that different chord voicing. From that point, we're moving back to the D minor 7 with the little finger on top, and the first bar is just exactly the same as we've already played, so starting with the down, up, accented, and then the little groups of 4. So you'll be ending with just 2 muted strums at the end to complete that bar. So it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then we've got half a bar of B flat, just 1 strum. And then the last half of that bar is the A minor 7. So a couple of just easy single strums at the end there. So the whole pre-chorus with musical counting would be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And without the counting, so you can just hear it in its normal form. Like most of these Nile Rodgers tracks, it can kind of catch you off guard a little bit when there's just a main repeating progression, but then all of a sudden another section comes in. So just make a little mental note, or maybe actually write down the timestamps for when this pre-chorus comes in, and then when you're playing along, try and match it in the track. I'm not really going to talk about the theory in this one, because we're just in the standard diatonic key of D minor, so there's no special harmonic analysis to really discuss. So yeah, that's all the parts to the song. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at that one. As I've said previously, if you're learning a bunch of these Nile Rodgers tracks all at once, hopefully by now you're kind of getting in the zone and in the habit of picking up all the different chords and embellishments and rhythms and finding that you can manipulate the music a little bit more easily. That being said, in the next video we're going to look at something completely different, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Remember, you can download all the chord diagrams from my Patreon page, and if you enjoy the lessons and find them helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.